Spread love, man.
Now your self-confidence, make yourself strong. Make yourself strong. How to do it? Always learn. If there is something to learn how to clean, learn how to cook, learn how to wash the windows, learn how to repair the car. Whatever you can do, just do it. So that gives you that feeling. There is something that you can do. You're not completely helpless. There are, of course, other people that can do it better, but still, it's not about that. It's about as long as you have a healthy body and a healthy mind, there are so many different options in this world you are able to express yourself in. But in order to do so, it is necessary to also engage in life. Meaning, if there is an option to learn, of course you learn. And then merging this learning together with learn to build up the body. So mentally, you're going to become confident. Physically, you're going to become strong and confident. And before all of this, you have started to release all the chains of the ones that put you into chains that just don't mean anything to you. So cut the chains.
Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. The speaker in this video appears to be a Buddhist monk.
Right.
So we're going to kind of unpack his advice on how to find confidence and navigate life's challenges.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about this one is this monk, he kind of flips the script on how we usually think about confidence. You know, we often think of confidence as something we need to gain, something that we lack. But he actually suggests that we're not lacking confidence, we're born with it. It's just buried under years of external influences.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So he uses this powerful image of, we arrive in this world after 9 months in the womb.
Right.
We're completely meal. But then from that point on, we were just bombarded with messages about who we should be and how we should live.
It's true.
Parent, school, advertising, it all shapes our sense of self.
Yeah, we end up living as a representation of all those outside ideas instead of really connecting with our true selves. And that can leave us feeling lost, unfulfilled.
Yeah.
Like we're constantly trying to please other people.
So his message isn't about gaining something we lack. It's about rediscovering something that we already possess.
Exactly. He's calling us to shed those layers of external influence and change our skin.
Oh, wow.
To reveal the confident person that we were all along. It's like clearing away the clutter to see the masterpiece underneath.
That's a pretty powerful image.
Yeah.
But how do we actually go about this skin-changing process?
Right.
He doesn't just leave us hanging, does he?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
He actually gives some really down-to-earth advice.
Okay.
And it all starts with mastering practical skills.
Practical skills. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
What does he mean by that?
He means anything that gives you a tangible sense of accomplishment and self-reliance. Think about the feeling you get when you fix a leaky faucet or you bake a perfect loaf of bread. Right.
Or you code a website from scratch.
Yeah, I see what you mean. There's a real satisfaction that comes from being able to do things for yourself.
Exactly. And those skills, they become like building blocks of confidence. Because they prove to yourself, hey, I can figure things out. I'm not helpless.
Yeah.
And that self-reliance, it translates into all areas of life. You start to trust your own judgment, your own abilities.
So instead of seeking validation from external sources, we become our own source of validation.
Yes. And that shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating.
Yeah.
You're no longer dependent on other people to tell you you're good enough. You know it in your bones.
Right.
And this connects back to the monk's point about changing our skin. Developing this inner confidence, we're less swayed by those external influences that he was talking about.
It's almost like we're building an internal shield against the pressures of the world.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I'm curious, how does he connect this idea of practical skills to having a healthy mind and a healthy body? He argues that when you feel confident in your physical abilities, whether it's running a marathon, learning a martial art, or just taking care of your health, it spills over into your mental state.
Interesting.
You feel more capable, more resilient, more ready to take on challenges.
So it's not just about being able to change a tire.
Right.
It's about feeling capable of handling whatever life throws your way.
Exactly. He's emphasizing that taking care of your physical well-being creates this foundation for mental strength and confidence. You feel more in control of your life, and that opens up a world of possibilities.
This is making me rethink how I approach confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about affirmations or positive self-talk.
Right.
It's about taking action and building a sense of mastery over your own life.
That's a great takeaway.
Hmm.
And speaking of taking action, the monk also has some thought-provoking insights on how to deal with the challenges that inevitably come up in life. He encourages us to confront our fears head-on.
Oh, now that sounds interesting. What does a Buddhist monk have to say about conquering fear?
Well, he starts by kind of reframing how we think about fear.
Okay.
Instead of seeing it as something to be avoided,
Right.
he suggests that fear, it's often a signpost pointing us toward growth.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Uh.
So instead of running away from our fears, we should lean into them.
He argues that our fears, they often stem from a resistance to change,
Okay.
a clinging to the familiar.
Yeah.
But if we can shift our perspective and see the unknown as an opportunity for expansion,
Right.
fear becomes less intimidating.
It's like that feeling of being on the edge of a diving board, right?
Yeah.
The anticipation can be scary,
Yeah.
but the moment you jump, it transforms into exhilaration.
Exactly. And the monk asks a really thought-provoking question. What if we had no fear of the unknown at all? Would life become predictable and boring?
That's a good question. I think most of us crave a certain amount of stability and comfort,
Right.
but a life without any risk or challenge wouldn't be very fulfilling.
He suggests that it's in those uncharted territories, those experiences that push us beyond our comfort zones,
Yeah.
that we discover our true potential. It's like exploring a vast, unmapped wilderness.
Uh-huh.
You never know what incredible discoveries await around the next bend.
This reminds me of something he said earlier about changing our skin.
Yeah.
Maybe confronting our fears is part of that process.
That's a great connection. He's highlighting that personal growth often requires us to let go of old patterns, beliefs, even parts of our identity that no longer serve us.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all these ideas fit together.
Yeah.
He's advocating for a kind of radical self-acceptance, but also a willingness to constantly evolve and adapt.
Exactly. And he acknowledges that this process of letting go can be challenging. We're wired to cling to the familiar,
Right.
even when it's no longer serving us.
So how do we cultivate this ability to let go? Does he offer any practical advice?
He suggests it starts with awareness.
Hmm.
We need to become aware of the thoughts, the beliefs, the habits that are holding us back.
It's like taking inventory of our mental baggage, seeing what we're carrying around that's weighing us down.
Yes, and then consciously choosing to release those things that no longer serve us.
Okay.
This could involve questioning long-held beliefs, changing unhealthy habits, or letting go of relationships that have become toxic.
This reminds me of something else he talked about, the importance of managing distractions and cultivating awareness. He used a really powerful metaphor for this.
Oh, yeah. He compared our awareness to water leaking out of our five senses.
Uh-huh.
Like water through open gates. Our attention constantly gets pulled in a million different directions.
It's so true. It's like we're constantly bombarded with stimuli, social media, news advertising.
Right.
And it's hard to stay focused on what truly matters.
And his solution to this is surprisingly simple but profound.
Yeah.
The practice of sitting still and focusing on the breath.
He talks about how the breath is like an anchor, a way to bring ourselves back to the present moment, no matter how distracted we've been.
Exactly. It's a tool we always have access to, no matter where we are or what we're doing. And by practicing the simple act of focusing on the breath, we can train our minds to be more present, more aware, and less reactive.
This makes me think about mindfulness meditation and how it's all about cultivating that awareness of the present moment.
You're right, there's a strong connection there. The monk is emphasizing that by cultivating this inner stillness, we create space for deeper insights and wisdom to emerge.
So it's not about shutting out the world entirely.
Right.
It's about finding moments of stillness amidst the chaos to reconnect with ourselves.
Precisely. And from that place of stillness, we can begin to see those external influences that are shaping our thoughts and behaviors.
Yeah.
And make conscious choices about which ones to let go of. It's about reclaiming our power to choose how we want to experience the world.
This is all incredibly insightful, but I'm curious how he reconciles this focus on inner peace with the realities of our modern world. He even addresses the rise of artificial intelligence, which is pretty fascinating.
Right. And you might be surprised to hear that he doesn't view AI as inherently good or bad.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's a Buddhist monk's take on AI?
He emphasizes that, like any tool, it depends entirely on who's wielding it and their intentions. It's not the technology itself that's the issue, but how it's used.
So it's not about rejecting technology altogether.
No, he takes a much more pragmatic approach. He acknowledges that AI can simplify certain tasks,
Okay.
but it's not a cure-all.
Right.
And he cautions us against becoming overly reliant on technology to solve our problems.
That makes sense.
And
It's like outsourcing our critical thinking or decision-making to algorithm.
Exactly. He's advocating for a mindful approach to technology, one where we use it as a tool to enhance our lives,
Uh-huh.
but don't let it dictate our thoughts, feelings, or actions.
This is making me think about all the ways we rely on technology, sometimes without even realizing it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be more mindful of my own tech habits after this.
That's a great takeaway. And this ties back to the monk's core message about self-discovery. When the world feels overwhelming, when we're bombarded with information and distractions, it's more important than ever to connect with our inner compass.
To remember who we are, what our values are, and what truly matters to us.
Precisely. And he reminds us that these are questions that technology can't answer for us. They require us to look inward, to tap into that deep well of wisdom that resides within each of us.
This has been such a thought-provoking exploration of the monk's ideas. We've covered so much ground, from cultivating awareness to confronting fears to navigating the complexities of technology. Ready to hear how he ties it all together.
Yeah, it feels like we've been on this incredible journey with this monk, exploring all these powerful ideas about self-discovery and confidence. What really stood out to you as we've been unpacking his teachings?
You know what strikes me is how he weaves together this ancient wisdom with a very modern sensibility.
Yeah.
He's not advocating for like a retreat from the world.
Right. But rather a shift in perspective, a way of navigating life's challenges with more awareness and intention.
And that's what I find so empowering about his message. He's not saying, go live in a cave and meditate for hours.
Right.
He's offering practical tools we can use right now in the midst of our busy lives.
Right, like the simple act of focusing on the breath.
Yes.
He emphasizes that this isn't just about relaxation. It's about cultivating a deeper awareness of ourselves and our place in the world.
It's about hitting the pause button on autopilot and becoming more present in our lives. And from that place of awareness, we can start to make more conscious choices about how we want to live, how we want to show up in the world.
He's reminding us that we have more agency than we often realize. We're not just passengers on this ride called life.
Right.
We're the ones holding the steering wheel.
And that brings us back to his message about confidence. It's not about arrogance or bravado.
Right.
It's about trusting ourselves, knowing our worth, and living in alignment with our values.
He suggests that true confidence, it comes from a deep sense of inner peace and self-acceptance, and that it radiates outward, inspiring others to do the same.
It's like that saying, be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
When we embody confidence, we give others permission to do the same.
And it's not just about ourselves.
Right.
He emphasizes that our actions have a ripple effect. When we cultivate inner peace and confidence, it creates a more peaceful and a harmonious world around us.
So it's not selfish to focus on our own self-discovery. In fact, it's a way of contributing to the greater good.
Exactly. He's advocating for a kind of enlightened self-interest. When we take care of ourselves, when we cultivate our inner strength and wisdom, it naturally spills over into our interactions with others and with the world as a whole.
I love that idea. It's not about retreating from the world or neglecting our responsibilities. It's about showing up as the best version of ourselves, which ultimately benefits everyone.
And it's a journey, not a destination. He encourages us to embrace this process of self-discovery with curiosity, courage, and a willingness to learn and grow.
This deep dive has given me so much to think about. It's a powerful reminder that even amidst the complexities and challenges of our modern world, we have the power to choose our path, to cultivate our inner strength, and to create a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling.
Absolutely. And if there's one final takeaway I hope you'll consider, it's this. Don't underestimate the power of simple practices like focusing on the breath, cultivating awareness, and connecting with your inner wisdom. These are the tools that can help you navigate any challenge, unlock your true potential, and live a life of confidence and purpose.
I think that's a great place to leave it. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.